This episode of the Wayang Crew podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey, welcome back everyone to yet another episode of the Wayang Crew podcast. It's me, Kev, as usual, speaking to you about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei, Darussalam. First up, it's my co-host, it's Tibi. He's back.
Hey.
What's up, bro?
Nothing much. Just busy.
busy.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Trying to be vague as much as possible.
Trying to be vague. All right, I'll talk to you off the air about why.
Yeah.
Anyway, up next is the other co-host of the podcast. It's Kai.
What up, guys?
He's also back.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. Today we will be talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which is showing here in Brunei cinemas. And you're smiling as I say this because you're really happy.
Oh no, I just had a very funny thought. I'm getting into cosplay recently.
What? Really?
Yeah. So one of my favorite movies from last year was A Star Is Born. So I'm trying to go with the Bradley Cooper look, growing out my beard and my hair, and I'll be cosplaying as a Bradley Copper because I'm brown.
Okay.
Is this
I want to be doing cosplay
I know what this
too.
is serious.
Who would you cosplay as, Tibbs?
I mean, there's limited characters that's bald, but Kingpin.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I see it. All right.
Tippin.
And finally, he's back after a very long hiatus from the podcast. It's the one and only Zainal. Welcome back.
Yay.
Welcome back to the show. And welcome back.
The OG.
Yep, the OG.
One of the OGs. And it's very fitting because this is the 100th episode of the Wayang Crew podcast.
Oh, this is like the end game of podcast.
Yeah. Are we bringing everyone back?
Dell's not
To your
there.
left. Dell.
Oh, yeah, where is Del?
Combo
His
breaker.
stool is there.
Yeah, his tool is there.
So that's Del.
Yeah, Dell's supposed
Okay,
to sit
I'm
there.
pointing at a stool now, and they're saying yes, that's Del.
Now that we're saying Dell's a stool, Dell's a great guy.
Yeah. He sits that side most of the time.
All right, sure. Now, as I mentioned up top, we are talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters today. But first, let's get to the first bit of the show, as usual, which is the news. We got a bunch of trailers this week from Hollywood. And first up, we got a trailer for Rambo Last Blood, which is the final movie in the Rambo series. Of course, still starring Sylvester Stallone. He looks good for his age.
As he does,
Well,
yeah.
what is it, like 60 now?
No,
He's 75.
70-ish.
This is why I don't want to watch the
amazing.
trailer. I want to watch how old he is and how.
How fit.
yeah, I wanna,
No,
like,
you want to
surprise
see
me.
how unfair life is.
Yeah.
So you have not watched it.
No, I don't want to.
And you're not going to watch it,
No, I don't think so.
think. But you are going to watch the movie.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Kai is a longtime Rambo fan
Yeah.
and of Sylvester Stallone. Like, what did you think of this trailer? Without giving too much away, because, TB's trying to stay spoiler-free on this.
So can I talk about the
Yeah, I
song
don't-
they use?
I don't mind the plot. I just don't want to see how he looks like.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So there's a song by Lil Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus called Old Town
no,
Road.
they put it in there?
Yeah. So it's apparently a country X R&B / rap song.
Yeah.
And it honestly suits the vibe because it's about a old timer trying to hang up quote unquote his guns for the last time.
Yeah.
So again, I also love the fact that it's called Last Blood just because it's such a good callback to the first one. But what I really took away was, Stallone when he's playing Rocky Balboa, which I recently watched Creed again. He's got this softness about him as Rocky, but as Rambo, he doesn't say much. He just beats people up, which I love. And he looks amazing in this one. I'm only sad that his hair is not long.
Yeah, well, not yet.
Not yet, anyway.
Like, we don't
You
know
spoiled
whether...
it. You spoiled it for TV. TV doesn't want to
He
know.
doesn't care about the hair.
Now I'm like, why his hair's not long? How does
Yeah.
he look like?
Yeah, because he's like, I don't mind the spoiler.
I'm so sorry.
The
I'm so
plot.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
What I'm most excited to see is something that we have not seen for a very long time because we haven't had a proper Rambo movie in a really long time. It's that shot in every Rambo movie where he puts on the bandana and he puts on the knife. I just want to see how that translates
Yeah, I want to see that again.
to a modern audience.
Oh, I love Rambo. I love this Rambo so much.
All right, so that's Rambo. He's coming back. Next up, we got a trailer for a new film from Pixar called Onwards, and it stars the voice talents of Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. They play a couple of elves, like they're brothers.
Yep.
The trailer starts off as, it's like a fairy tale world and this and and then it suddenly becomes modern and there are planes in the sky and it's a modern society filled with fairy tale creatures
magical
and
creatures and stuff.
This really sounds like Disney 101. I've not seen the trailer.
This sounds a lot like The Rock's the movie where he was a tooth fairy.
the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah,
Tooth
I've
Fairy.
not seen
So
that.
this is animation.
It is animation, yes. It is animation. You can't really tell that it's Tom Holland, but you can tell that it is Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And
can hear
you don't see very much. You're introduced to the world, but you don't know what the plot of this is.
Yeah.
And apparently unicorns are pests in this
Yeah.
in this universe because they eat out of the garbage just like a dog would.
That's funny.
So that's it's kind of funny. It's very promising. Can't wait to see more of.
Creators of How to Train a Dragon.
No. This is from Pixar. So they did Toy Story. They did
Oh,
Miss
okay,
Incredibles and all our favorite movies. I guess like we're okay with all of them, like Coco and
Yeah, Coco's
Finding
so
Nemo.
good.
So it's the same studio.
I
that
don't
brought us
remember
that.
a lot of those, but I do admit Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Yeah, there's another one coming out.
This is
Yep.
the first one.
We're getting another one, Toy Story 4, this month, end of June.
Is this June?
It's already June.
Fantastic.
We also got a trailer this week for this movie from DC, which is called The Kitchen. And it's based, according to Kai, on a comic book run.
Yeah, so it's from Vertigo. It's Vertigo is the DC's independent creator online. So it's a crime story set in Hell's Kitchen in the mid 70s, I believe, where three women take up their husbands' businesses and they run their own little crime organizations. So it's like a nitty gritty kind of thing, and it stars Elizabeth Moss, who is making a killing with The Handmaid's Tale. And it's also got Melissa McCarthy, and for some reason I'm blanking on the other actress.
Ooh, I can't remember who it
Yeah.
was. But yeah, this looks promising because it's a group of women. I think there are 3 or 4 of them. And they're taking over like the crime network. And there are certain, I guess, underworld organizations that are not happy with them. And they come at odds. And this movie sort of sets that up.
Tiffany Haddish, sorry.
Tiffany Haddish. Okay. I'm excited to see this, you know.
So it's a play on word with the Hell's Kitchen and also 3 women. They should be back in the kitchen.
Could be.
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm saying is that what they're right? No.
I don't know.
Zainal speaks for himself.
All I know is that this is the first time I've seen Melissa McCarthy, I think, in a serious role.
Yeah.
She's probably gonna be the comic relief. But Tiffany
No.
Haddish,
No, but this
Tiffany Haddish is also
the
comic.
source material doesn't leave a lot of room for humor. Yeah.
Maybe it's just situational.
Yeah, they're like and dark comedy a bit, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
I think that would be it. All right. I showed you guys this clip earlier before I hit record. We all talked about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer that came out, and it split the internet in half. There's a sect that hates it. There's another sect that says, fine, I'll watch it.
Yes.
But they are going back to the drawing board as to the design of Sonic because of all the backlash.
And they're adding 6 months to the release, right?
Yes. So they pushed it back to next year.
Yeah.
But what has happened is that there was a fan who remade the trailer that we got online, and he essentially took out the Sonic that everyone has a problem with and put in a cartoon version of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which works way better.
It's still CGI, but
It's still CGI.
the same version, like figure-wise.
yeah.
I mean, it looks like it came off like a Dreamcast, you know, with the 3D rendering, and maybe it was smoothened up.
Yeah.
But it looks good. Why didn't they do this from the start? We don't know.
I think this goes back to the RoboCop syndrome. So there was a remake of RoboCop about 5 years ago.
The black one.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah, the black color one.
yeah. and a lot of it has to do with merchandising because a studio would license out the rights for collectibles, merchandise, whatever to a smaller company. And they need to justify selling those rights at a certain price.
Okay.
So with RoboCop, the design was perfect from the 80s. You could literally recycle that design and it will still work. But studios cannot justify selling the rights for collectibles of a movie that will recycle the design. So with cutesy characters like this, Sonic, they would want to sell bobbleheads, plushies, whatever. They need a design that
Different.
first of
Updated
all,
version.
so that people won't say I can literally just buy a video game Sonic bobblehead. Like, so a lot of the motivation behind designs is to do with merchandising, and then second would have to be the story.
So it doesn't really have anything to do with trying to capture like a new market or
No, it's really not that. It's the merchandise angle.
money.
it's all money.
Yeah.
Anyway, this very impressive trailer edit done by a fan proves that it does work. Like the look of the video game Sonic works, and I hope they follow that design a little bit more. Now, big news this week from Hollywood. There is a new Batman, guys. And it has been announced. There was a lot of rumors that were sort of floating around, but
Yeah.
it has been confirmed that Robert Pattinson is the new Batman.
So good.
So good. Because this guy,
Shine.
as much as we don't...
It's his time to shine. So good, Tibbs. That is such a good one. This is the twilight of his new career. A new dawn is breaking.
Oh, someone really knows his references.
Oh my God. So
Okay,
good.
but by all accounts, Robert Pattinson does have acting chops. Like he's a
a
very
brilliant
decent actor.
Yeah.
He is cast as the lead in the next Christopher Nolan film, which says a lot.
About his talent, because
Yeah.
Nolan chooses amazing actors.
That is true.
Yeah.
And you've been out of it for a while.
Yeah,
so,
well,
so,
no,
this-
yeah.
so you're like our control
Yeah.
for this episode. This Batman is not the same Batman that we saw Ben Affleck portray recently.
We're not sure on that.
Well, this
The
is
rumor
probably
is that
set
what?
like in the 90s.
25 years before BVS.
That's right. So
So here's the really confusing part, and this is the stuff that keeps me up at night.
This is one.
This is the stuff that keeps me up at night, aside from this fact that my house is probably haunted. Matt Reeves wrote 2 drafts of the story. Ben Affleck wrote 2 drafts of the story. This current film is in the 4th draft and its 4th iteration right now. When Ben Affleck wrote it, it was set 10 years before the events of Man of Steel, and it was written by him as a crime thriller facing off against Deathstroke. And then when Jeff Johns came on board, it became a Rogues Gallery film, and it was set 2 years before Man of Steel, and it's about Batman uncovering the fact that there could be an alien conspiracy. Ben Affleck gets out of the project. Matt Reeves writes a project that is about the death of Jason Todd, which is the Robin suit we saw.
Yep.
DC loves the pitch, something happened, and then he goes back. Again, like, reports for this are all over the place. And now it's a full-on detective movie. It's a crime thriller, like that. So the problem here is neither the studio nor the director are confirming the film's connection to Ben Affleck. They're saying it's set in the 90s, which makes you go, oh yeah, so it's naturally a prelude to the Ben Affleck story. But they also go like, but it's not bogged down by the DCEU. So currently the film acts like if it succeeds, it may be connected. So the second film in this quote-unquote trilogy will probably be the one that determines its relation to Ben Affleck.
Okay, and you say trilogy because it's come out that he probably signed on for a 3-picture
Yeah,
deal.
he signed up for a multi-picture deal.
Any thoughts from you, Tibi or Zainal, on Robert Pattinson grabbing the role of Batman?
I
like it.
I just wanted to move on, like to a new chapter
New
of Batman.
Batman's career.
Like we had the Dark Knight, and then
Yeah.
we have Ben Affleck, which everyone wanted
We
to-
experimented with Ben
Yeah.
Affleck.
We experimented with Ben
we
Affleck.
want.
Everyone has to go through that experimentation.
Yeah.
So now I
This
want.
Batman's.
This is a new chapter. It's like it's Robert Pattinson, and I hope it's better than whatever we had. Past
All right,
Few years.
so we wish him all the best,
Yes.
and we hope the movies come out. And
Yeah.
He's listening, Bobby. All the best.
Bobby!
Bobby. Speaking of DC, this movie, Man of Steel, which sort of kicked off this new DCEU back in 2010, I want to say?
2013.
2013, sorry. Did you guys know that Lois Lane was almost played by Zoe Saldana?
What? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Zack,
would have been so happy with that.
Zack
casting.
Snyder actually revealed in an interview and said that, it was between Amy Adams and Zoe Saldana, and of course, Amy Adams won out in the end. But my question to you guys is, what do you think Zoe Saldana playing Lois Lane would have looked like? Or
She's got the spunk.
She
She's
does.
very snappy.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the Star Trek film, she's always snapping at people. Like whether it's Kirk or whether it's Spock. And I think that's something Amy Adams' Lois Lane was missing.
Okay.
Amy Adams' Lois Lane was just like something. Clark shows up, something. It's like a lot of her writing, and this is why I don't like that version of Lois Lane. A lot of her writing was in relation to how Clark is in that scene. Like
so much herself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think Zoe Saldana would have killed it.
yeah,
Okay.
but I don't think she would get the Guardians of the
No,
Galaxy
she wouldn't have. So
role.
Amy Adams would have been Gamora.
No, we don't want that.
Yeah, that's not.
No, that's
Direction
not gonna happen.
something interesting to note as well is that Zoe Saldana is now a member of 2 of the biggest movies or franchises in the world.
Star Trek and
No, that's not true. Avatar.
oh, that's true. Yes.
Oh,
And-
franchise.
Avengers.
And she's now in Avengers, which
Yeah.
is sitting at the number 2 spot.
Yeah.
And she's also in Star Trek, which is not nearly
No,
as,
but
as
it's
big,
Yeah.
but it's big enough.
I would love her to do Star Wars and DC. I think she's one of those actresses that can do
She
really
could do
well
all of
in
them.
all the Yeah, absolutely. Here's another fun fact: she was in The Terminal, the Steven Spielberg movie, and she played a Trekkie in that.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
She had a very minor... No, she was the immigration officer.
Yes, she was a Trekkie,
right.
and there was a bit at the end where she did the "Live Long and Prosper" Vulcan sign. So to see her do that in Star Trek is so surreal.
Speaking of Star Trek, that's a good segue right there. Chris Hemsworth, he's been on and off with Chris Pine. Very recently, the news came out that they're walking away from Star Trek 4, which is the
Yes.
new iteration, the Kelvin timeline movies.
Yes.
Well, there was a lot of rumors as to why, and one of the things that was settled on was that it was about pay.
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth has come out and said that that's not exactly true. He says that he feels that the story doesn't warrant him coming back yet.
So it's about the pay.
Not getting paid enough. to
It's
do
like,
that.
I am Thor, you are giving me 2 lines of dialogue. Yeah, no, it's about the pay. I think the issue with this whole thing is that the Star Trek movies aren't making as much money as they should be. So while I believe it's about pay, I also think that if a studio doesn't have a great script, no actor will be willing to sacrifice pay. It's a chicken and egg.
And the thing is, Chris Hemsworth now is a big enough name to say that, look,
Yes.
I don't think I want to come back for this.
Yeah, and Men in Black will determine this because that's his first leading role in a blockbuster. He's done leading roles in non-blockbusters before, but he's the lead in the new Men in Black.
Wait, Chris Hemsworth was in Star Trek?
Yeah, he was the father,
He's
George Kirk.
George Kirk.
Yeah, in the first Star Trek. film.
He was in it for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, and that was a solid 3 minutes.
Yeah. That was his first ever like
Acting,
Hollywood
acting,
acting.
gig,
Yeah. Speaking of Hollywood, Terminator. We got to talk about this.
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. James Cameron, who's all over this thing now, because he's back as a producer and he's doing his thing and promoting it, saying, "Oh, this is gonna be the best ever."
Yeah, while he's shooting 10 avatars back to back.
He revealed this week that the movie has an R rating.
It does, yeah,
So it's going back
to the first one.
to the first one where it had an R rating because they sort of made it PG-13 for Terminator 2.
Yeah,
But they had to
that
because it was a
weird.
kid actor.
Yes, kid actor. But then that doesn't really apply anymore in today's world because we have movies like Deadpool 2 where it's an R-rated movie.
And there's a kid in it.
A heavy
Yeah.
R. And the kid who acts in
was
it
swearing.
can't watch it.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
that's the interesting part.
Yeah.
They can act in
the
it.
previous one, was it?
Yeah, Deadpool 2.
Okay.
They had the New Zealand
They're
actor.
allowed to be in the movie and they are allowed to swear in it, but they're not allowed to watch.
No, wait, they can only swear if there's an adult present on set, a guardian, I believe.
Oh, really?
Their mom or dad has to be on set.
That's
Still
in the
doesn't matter.
contract.
Yeah, I believe so. Like this is on the rules.
Can
No,
you...
because they're not. Yeah, to protect them, it's like you're not getting to do this by force.
Yeah.
by a stranger, but your mom can force you to do it.
Can you imagine having like the mom on set and the director goes, okay, like, read your line and he goes like, F you, you mother effer, and then the mom cuts and goes like, who taught you that?
Or the mom's a language coach. He's
Yeah.
like, no son, no honey, it's F.
It's more R's in there. There's more
Enunciate.
You're not rolling
Enunciate.
your R's.
R's. What did I teach you at home?
No son of mine speaks that way. That is very, very interesting. Here's something that is, I don't know whether it's of interest. I'm just gonna say it. I know what the reaction from Kai is gonna be, but I want to know what you guys think of this. Ridley Scott apparently is is developing a new Alien prequel.
Ridley Scott should retire and enjoy his life.
I don't know.
Ridley, if you're Ridley, I know we haven't had a good patch, but stop working.
So Ridley Scott, of course, directed and
very
produced
first
the very first Alien
Alien
movie
film.
that kicked off the franchise.
Yeah, and then he walked away for 25 years, and then decided he wanted to be relevant again and made Prometheus, which had a great. So Prometheus was a good starting point because it created more questions.
Yeah.
And then he destroyed, everything with Alien Covenant.
The lore.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
And then he's apparently not backing down. So he's one of those people who apparently, I think, in real life never apologizes.
What is he? He's like
so,
80.
so is he coming back?
He's like 80 years old.
He's like 78, 79.
78, yeah,
You
okay.
contrast that against Stallone, man. It's such a difference.
Wait, so he's coming back and doing this, and then it's
Alien
a prequel
Awakening. Yeah.
Well,
from
I think it's
Prometheus.
it's a continuation of Covenant.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is just a report. We don't know whether this is happening, but the likelihood is
It's
that
pretty
it
high.
is.
It's happening,
It is
pretty
happening.
I'm at the point where like it's just a continuation of the story. I have no input in this story. I'm just gonna watch it. This is your creation.
Just for continuity's sake.
Yeah, I just want like this is the time like when I was watching Lost, the series. Like
I've never seen that.
I hated it, but I want to know what happened.
That's fair.
So this is me.
So you just need closure.
Yes.
Okay.
You need closure.
I don't. I have no input. I have no.
It's gonna be like the Predator all over again.
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
Oh well, this is Hollywood now. They try and either repackage an existing franchise or get the original guy in, and let's see what we can do now that's different. And
Dark Fate. Dark Fate.
Okay.
Wait,
How come
did we
How
actually
come
talk
there's
about...
no Back to the Future reboot?
Because Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale still own the rights.
Yeah,
and they never
Nope.
wanted.
They're like,
that's
never.
great.
Nope.
That's great.
Yeah.
they're like, no, it's done. 3 movies, that's it. The
That
story
was
is
always the vision.
story is finished. It's done.
Yeah.
We're not revisiting this ever.
Yeah, but what if Doc? No.
No. And it's I think it's very respectful to Michael J. Fox. Given his current condition, I think it's very respectful to preserve that as it is.
Okay. We are getting a sequel this September to It. It's going to be It
yeah.
Chapter 2. We saw like a first look a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a trailer. It was more like a first look. You don't see very much, although you see the adult cast in this. We got a new poster, and it looks as scary as ever. It's just a hand. It's the hand of Pennywise, and he's holding 2 red balloons. And are you excited for...
I'm so
I'm
excited
excited.
for this.
Yes.
This is going to be
So-
good.
Saving my.
This would be my third most anticipated of the year. It.
Saving,
Chapter 2.
Saving my horror movie quota for this.
Oh.
This-
You only have one a year, is it?
No, like maybe once a quarter.
There's Annabelle return coming home.
Yeah.
Coming soon?
Not watching that.
Annabelle Comes Home or something.
You don't
like
like that series?
No, I don't feel like.
I'm not an Annabelle
Okay.
fan.
I like the Conjuring verse, even though it's terrible right now.
Okay.
I watched the trailer. It's stupid.
I didn't see it.
A girl keeps touching everything in the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
The older girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to touch everything if a sign says "Do not touch anything"?
Right.
Because
That's why.
that's human.
yeah.
That's
It's
why
human
I'm
nature.
not going to watch it because it's based on a stupid premise already.
Oh, tips.
All
Why
right.
you never had this urge before?
It's like don't stand on the grass. No, don't tell me what to do. I'm standing on the grass.
Yeah, but
you won't
it
do it.
already people already assume that everything is like cursed or
Okay,
haunted
that's
here.
fair. Oh, is it in the Warrens' house?
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
Ah.
I didn't see the
basement.
trailer. I
Yeah.
didn't see the trailer.
Like if you don't don't step on the grass, nothing's going to happen to you. You're not gonna die. Like don't touch hot water. Like okay, it's gonna burn you, so I won't touch it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Any Blade fans?
Me.
here?
The first two.
I love
The first 2.
all
The
the-
third one was.
Did you guys ever see the show?
No.
Blade the show?
There's a Blade TV show.
Animate.
No, live action, 1 season, not bad.
Who played Blade?
I can't remember, but it was co-written by Jeff Johns.
I will look into it.
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes.
Say Wesley Snipes can
should
play
not
Blade.
work anymore. Sorry.
He's coming back to star in a zombie action movie called Outbreak Z.
Oh, of course.
Any connection with
Okay.
Z-World?
I gotta ask this: are we still into zombies?
We've had a good run.
Right? I feel like we could look at something else now.
I feel that the horror zombie thing is kind of over because shows like The Walking Dead on TV,
Ah.
they're getting very stale
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
But there is still that opportunity for more zombie comedy
Right.
movies. So, I mean,
But we've had those already.
we've had a couple. We're
Is
getting
Zombieland coming back, right?
Zombieland 2, yeah.
that's coming back.
And the one with Adam Driver.
Oh, okay, what's the name of that? With Bill Murray.
Yeah.
It's from
The Dead Don't Die.
The Dead Don't Die. It's from that guy. The guy who did
And
Patterson.
World War Z2.
I don't know, man. I think
this.
this theme won't die.
I think we need werewolves.
Well, because
You know why
coming
though?
back.
You know why though?
Yeah.
You got to go for the head.
Also,
keeps coming back. Remember,
There's-
like in the 70s, there's like movies in those 80s.
there's not enough zombie romance movie.
There was
We've
one,
had
right?
one, right?
There was one. Yeah.
Nicholas Holt.
With Nicholas Holt.
He was good. He screen tested for Batman.
Yeah, he was the number 2 contender
Yeah.
for that.
No, it's not.
So it's either a
He's not
zombie or a
broody enough.
vampire. Those were our choices.
He's not broody enough.
So, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Outbreak Z tells the story of 2 SWAT officers searching a zombie-infested college campus for someone who might have a zombie virus vaccine. Now, Wesley Snipes apparently has been cast as one of the SWAT officers.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not one of the zombies.
This is so vague.
I don't think it's gonna be good.
No.
I say, as usual, show me a trailer. I'll give you my answer.
Fair enough.
All right.
This has nothing to do with World War Z.
No, I don't think so.
I need to see.
Wait,
it.
is Brad Pitt back with World War Z 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, World War Z 2 is coming out, but I'm not sure if he's.
Yeah, because Brad Pitt's amazing.
Okay. I had my issues with World War Z, but we'll talk about this
Yeah.
later on. New Mutants, which is a movie that Dell was very looking forward to come out this year.
Yeah, it's next year.
Has been pushed to next year. And the reason is because, the whole studio thing, and they
Yeah.
weren't happy with the story, and they scheduled some reshoots. Simon Kinberg has confirmed that the reshoots have still not happened.
No. So I think it's going to be a Disney Plus thing.
So it's
Keep
going to be a
saying that.
streaming thing.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be.
Are you sure? Because
I feel like
they
it
spent
is.
a lot of money on this.
I mean, they bought the studio. Disney bought Fox for 70 billion. I think 100 million is nothing. Yeah, I
wish
think
I
it's
had
gonna be.
100 million.
I'd be okay with 500,000, man. Like, if we're being real,
I just know that it's a mutant, like horror mutant.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a horror take on.
it's meant
like,
to be. Yeah.
And I didn't enjoy the trailer. It didn't get me boiling. And then now I'm neutral with this news.
neutral.
I think I'll watch it, but it's not on my most anticipated list.
Okay. Since we're already in the X-Men universe, we just talked about New Mutants. Matthew Vaughn, who is the director of X-Men First Class, if given the chance, he would like to cast this person for young Wolverine.
Ooh, are we
Tom
supposed
Hardy.
to guess?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I'm not the world's biggest Tom Hardy fan.
I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah, same.
Well, he said that he originally wanted to follow up the 60s period piece of First Class with a 70s film starring Wolverine and that era's X-Men. Now, according to his original plan, that would have led to Days of Future Past movie that brought all of the X-Men cinematic incarnations together. I mean, the X-Men universe as we know it is a mess. Like, they've disregarded like certain timelines now. Like, certain movies don't exist anymore because of the new timeline they've made.
The only person to blame is Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer. Do you think Tom Hardy would have made a good...
No.
I don't think so.
Not at that point.
No?
Because the role of Wolverine, even now, is still too close to Hugh Jackman.
No,
Even now.
It's not close. It is Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's like Batman at least had like a buffer. Okay, so Christian Bale is my favorite Batman ever because the guy is amazing. And then when you have Ben Affleck, you go, this is why Christian Bale's the best. Like, like it paled in comparison. And now with Robert Pattinson, even if he is amazing, at least there was a palate cleanser between Christian Bale and Pattinson. You had Ben Affleck.
Maybe we need that for Wolverine.
Yeah.
So just
like,
put someone there.
you just need
so that
somebody
people
to flop
will-
first.
Yep. So we'll flop them out.
You just need a bad one.
Yeah.
A bad
And again,
variant.
like that's not a reflection of what I think of Ben Affleck as an actor or anything. I just don't think the DCEU Batman was great, right? So I think you can't have somebody too big as Wolverine now. You just can't.
Give it to a smaller role.
Yeah.
person.
Does Hugh Jackman have a 25-year-old son? Like he could play Wolverine, I suppose.
Well, he might, because Hugh Jackman is 50.
Yeah, you never know. So, I don't know. I just think it's such a big thing. Rest in peace, the next actor's career who takes Wolverine.
Because you have some huge shoes to fill.
Like even Superman, we had Christopher Reeve and then we had Brandon Routh, who, for all intents and purposes, never really took off as Superman.
because he was trying to be a Christopher
and
Reeves.
then
Yeah.
so you needed that palate cleanser, and then you got Henry Cavill, who's doing slightly better. He's
I enjoy.
No, because you're comparing it to the last guy who was in charge. Who was the last guy? You're no longer comparing it to Christopher Reeves anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
So
relate.
you go, and I like Henry Cavill Superman. I think he does a great Superman. I just think his content is terrible. But yeah, so you need a palate cleanser. You can't go up to Tom Cruise and be like, "Hey, Tom Cruise, would you like to be Wolverine?" No, you can't do that. You
But
gotta
he'll
give-
probably say yes.
no. He'll be like, "Can I own it? Can I own it?
Can it be me? Can I play myself?
Can I keep running?"
Not only would he like ask for creative control, he'd be the guy who would walk off like the set and disappear for like 3 months and come back and went, look at this, I got real claws.
Method.
Super method.
Yeah, no, that's Tom Cruise.
Every time he puts them out, he screams so hard.
Yeah.
But
it's real.
but still finishes the take.
Yeah. Still finishes the take. Oh yeah, that's Tom Cruise. Dedication.
Every take takes a few weeks because he has to heal first.
All right. Speaking of Tom Cruise, who's in his 50s now, let's
58.
50, is he?
He's 58. It's so unfair.
All right, 58. Here's another actor who's in the same age range, but still kicking butt and making movies. It's Keanu Reeves. And
Keanu Reeves.
we just saw him in John Wick 3, which by all accounts was good. Whoa. He's in talks, apparently, for a role in the Eternals.
I heard, yeah.
We don't know what character because it's still early days and
Yeah.
they're just discussing it. But I'm not very familiar with the Eternals comic book run or the story.
Yeah, so they were the very first beings
Uh-huh.
in the Marvel universe. They're omnipresent. They're basically the gods of the Marvel universe, and all the stones and gems, everything ties back to them. Keeper of space, keeper of time, keeper of whatever. I don't think this movie's gonna get made.
Are these the people who with the big head who hung out with Stan Lee?
No, those are the Watchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the watches.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know how this movie will work. I just don't see it working. Like, it's so out there. Like, I'm gonna keep quiet.
He's been active these days.
Who, Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
He's having a bit of a career renaissance. So
Yeah, he just got his footprint in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, right?
yeah, he just
He
did.
just got it?
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
got it. No, not Hollywood. Sorry, the Chinese theater.
Chinese theater,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah.
just got his handprint and he signed it.
He's in Toy Story. He's in.
He is
Call
in Toy
Me-
Story
Call
4.
what?
Duke
Some-
Kaboom.
Maybe some what?
Always be my maybe.
Yeah.
Always be my maybe.
Which is a Netflix film, and we'll talk about that later in Untitled Liat. Finally, last bit of news this week on the podcast: Godzilla vs Kong got a poster. It teases like a epic brawl between the two of them, and in this poster, Kong is the same size, if
As
not a little bit
Godzilla.
bigger,
Yeah.
as Godzilla.
Yeah.
What?
That's huge.
Looks amazing.
No, but that's not that. I don't remember that scale being
No,
right.
because he was a kid in this one, in the previous one.
Yes.
That was the 70s.
Skull Island.
It's
Skull-
been
yeah.
40, 50 years.
In Skull-
Again, how are they eating? How is no one addressing
Zainal
this?
is very concerned with monster nutrition.
He was talking
Yes,
about
I
this
have.
before we
Yeah.
record. He was like, "How are they eating?"
like, what are they eating?
What are they
He's like a very
eating?
concerned parent. It's like, have you eaten yet? It's like, let me make you something, Kong.
Like,
Giant
this-
squids live around Skull Island.
That's
by
great.
now.
That's fantastic. Now, how did the giant squid manage to grow that big and sustain it?
because the Skull Island is a very special place.
Yeah,
where
it's untouched by man.
That's the news this week on the Wayang Crew podcast. Do get in touch with us on the show via our contact links down below, which leads us to our review this week of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, this is showing here in local cinemas in Brunei. It's a big, big movie, so it deserves to be seen on a big screen. So do head out to your local cinemas. I got a chance to watch this a couple of days ago, as with all of us. Generally, we think this movie is okay. Like, I mean,
Wow.
There-
I think it's better than okay.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
if,
Pretty good.
if
On
you-
average, maybe okay, but some of us think it's more than okay.
All right, the story picks off directly after the first Godzilla movie from 2014. It's been 5 years. We don't really see much of Godzilla in the last 5 years, but now he's back because
The order.
the
Monarch, the
The order of things is out of place.
Yeah, the order of things is out of place. There is an eco-terrorist who, in the very beginning of the film, hijacks one of the Monarch sites and releases
Yeah.
the Titan.
Yeah.
They're called
So-
Titans now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building on what Kev said, Monarch has, since Godzilla's first appearance, created outposts all over the world, keeping tabs on the different Titans. And the story opens with one of those outposts having activity and being attacked.
That's about it. And the story proceeds from there. We find out that there are more than, I think, 50 outposts.
17 Titans altogether.
No, it's more than that because there was like Outpost 36.
17 as only after they found Godzilla.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. We are introduced to a lot more monsters as we see in the trailers. We are introduced to Ghidorah. We're introduced to Mothra, Rodan, and
Mankind.
The
Was it the mammoth thing?
The mammoth thing. I think that was a new creature.
yeah.
I don't remember it being in the originals.
the spider leg thingy.
The spider leg thing, I just pulled out the name for it. But
That looks like because I haven't seen Stranger Things, right? It looks like a.
Yeah, the
it does.
monsters
It
from
looks like
Stranger
the
Things.
monster from season 2.
yeah.
Here's something I wanted to ask you guys. I wasn't sure if I was seeing right, but there is a Muto in this movie.
What's a Muto again?
yes, there was Muto.
Yeah,
Muto
from
was
from
there.
the first movie.
Yeah, a small one.
There were two Mutos.
Oh, yes.
The big one, the female one, and the
Yes.
smaller male one,
okay,
which were both killed by Godzilla. But in this movie, there's another Muto.
There's a small one.
We see like a shot of this Muto. I wasn't sure. I was like, is that a Muto? And then it was off the screen.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so what did we generally think about this movie? Let's start off with Zainal.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from Act 1, Act 2, and then it just fell apart, Act 3.
Fell apart actually. That's keeping it really close to the chest there. TV.
I enjoyed all the monster scenes.
And
fight
none of them
scenes.
human scene.
The human part of the movie didn't make sense. I don't get the motive of the villain. The villain was stupid, to be honest. It's like your motives are good, but your methods are dumb, to me. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed all the Godzilla lore, all the background, and then I'm looking forward for Kong and
Godzilla. All right, Kai.
Okay, so this movie was like my number 3 most anticipated of the year because I love that first Godzilla so much. And I also really enjoyed Kong Skull Island. When it began, I thought they bridged it really well. The whole, wait, is this spoiler? Not yet.
No, not yet.
I thought it was a good establishment and everything, but the problem is I kind of read a couple of reviews before going to the cinema. And the reviews had said that the human angle is a problem in this movie. I don't know if we watched Pacific Rim together.
No, we
but
didn't.
whenever I watch a monster movie, I shriek and giggle every time there's monster showdowns. I knew I was enjoying this movie because every time Ghidorah or Rodan or Godzilla popped up, I was like screaming and shrieking and just punching the air. I was like, yes, like fight. But every time it cut to the humans, I just groaned and just went like, oh, could you move along? Like
That's
the
the same
problem here is this is a very rare case of a film not being able to find a proper human tone. Like, it's so jarring. Usually, it's the other angle. If a film has 2 parallel stories, story A, which is almost always the story of the human beings, is really well written. Story B, which in this case is the Godzilla and the fights, you would usually be underdeveloped. But for some reason, they really paid attention to the monsters and the fights to the point where story A is just a complete and utter waste of time.
I think they overcompensated from the comments that they got from the first Godzilla.
Yeah.
Focus more on the Godzilla story. Okay.
Yeah, and I really wish they just removed the story of the humans completely. I would have been okay. Like, I would have...
It would have been a 1-hour movie at most.
Okay.
It would have. I don't know. It was so badly written.
It really was, and the dialogues were terrible.
It was bad. It was really bad.
And the disappointing thing about this movie is that it builds this beautiful world, right? It's a beautiful world, especially Godzilla's home.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're slowly moving into
Yeah,
spoiler
so
territory.
slowly getting to spoilers. We
Yeah.
finally see Godzilla's home and the fall of the ancient civilization that worshipped Godzilla and how he got the name, right?
It's Atlantis, by the way.
Yeah, it's Atlantis.
Which was never mentioned.
Which was never mentioned, but it's because it's a gray area with the Japanese stuff as well.
Yeah.
It looked so good. It defied science, which I wanted, and it looked so good. And then they blew it up with an atom bomb,
Yeah.
and
no food inside.
That's how. That's
his food. The nuclear bomb.
Oh, he's like a plant. So he just takes it from like a sunlight.
He's a herbivore.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
established this.
He absorbs it.
He absorbs nuclear energy.
Radiation.
Yeah, radiation.
Yeah.
Biologically, though.
So like that's the thing, you know. And then they established Ghidorah as being from space, which is, you know, mythologically accurate. Never explored that.
Could have done it better.
Yeah,
though.
that's the thing.
And it was just like a throwaway line saying, "Oh, Ghidorah is from space." I'm like, really? You couldn't trace, like, you know, star patterns from 1 billion years ago?
It's like a very old piece of paper.
Yeah,
stuck together.
oh my, it's so.
That's
so
what Prometheus is trying to solve with the movie, by the way.
Okay, here's the thing though. Godzilla movies traditionally have always been a commentary of this, you know,
The times
the
in the
times,
society.
like
Yeah.
socially, this is what's happening in the world, and these are the issues. This seems like it's trying to tell you, like, look, the Earth is
Dying.
It's the only one we've got,
Yeah.
and we need to save it, which is a very strong motivation for most of the human characters in this movie. I mean, 1/2 of them is to say that we need to reset the Earth and return the Earth to its original owners, who are
It's
the
the
Titans.
Thanos theory
It's a Thanos theory, but not done nearly as well
as the decimation.
at all. This was just a mess in terms of the writing for the humans.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You did not believe that at any point the lead male and female husband and wife, or ex-husband and wife, were even married at one point.
And
And another thing, they use their marriage to like the billions of lives. by the way.
yeah. This is a terrible marriage.
This is horrible because it will be like this is like cities are being destroyed. This is
All
happening.
because they had a lover's quarrel.
Yeah, and also I would know because she's my wife. I'm like, what? That's
Yeah.
it? Are we supposed to
and,
believe
and
you?
the sad part is that this is 2 of the best actors in Hollywood right now. Kyle Chandler and Vera Farmiga are amazing.
Not in this movie.
I'm not
Yeah.
too hot with him whispering most of his dialogues. Why are you doing this. You know this.
Yeah.
You know, even if you speak loudly, he can't hear you because you're so tiny.
Yeah.
Open the shutters.
And I did not like the fact that Serizawa got killed.
Yes.
I wanted him to be in every movie saying like, let them keep fighting.
He didn't say, he didn't say it here.
No.
But it was echoed by someone else
Yeah.
who said that, we should do a Serizawa and let them fight.
Yeah.
I thought he was the best human in this movie.
Yeah.
Serizawa.
That's just kind of what
So the dialogue, I was gonna point out because this guy said the dialogue's atrocious. Because when the guy, the Japanese guy, was like, "No, I will do it," and everyone's like, "Don't," and it's like, "No time to argue," and everyone just looked down and go, "Yeah, I guess." I'm like, what? That's it? You know how much time he had? He had to put all that suit in.
Yeah, and
that's a lot of time to argue. By the
I'm
way.
about to nitpick that bit too. I thought they said the moment you enter the atmosphere of that part, you're just gonna start suffering. No, the guy had the time to like show his beautiful hands, took off his helmet, and like touch Godzilla. He had a lot of time.
That's a lot of, and he had to bring it up.
yeah, come on, man.
He had to bring a nuclear warhead.
Yes, and those things are not light.
Okay. So clearly, the more we hack at this, the more problems we find.
The human part of it.
Yeah, the human
yes.
part of it. Okay.
The fighting scenes
What
were
the
amazing.
fight?
Here's what I
Jacked up Godzilla. Whoa.
Magma Godzilla.
Oi.
Here's what I have to say about Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think that in terms of a sequel, it serves its purpose because it addresses a lot of the complaints that people gave from the first Godzilla, which was we did not see enough Godzilla and monsters. Now, flip it the other way, and now you see a lot more of Godzilla and other monsters fighting, which is why we watch these movies. But I had a big problem with the physics of it, with certain logic, with certain logic points. But you have to put all that and check it at the door because this is essentially a monster mashup movie where they fight. So you can't sit there. It's kind of like a Fast and Furious movie where you sit there and I know this is all nonsense, but whatever.
Okay.
So I had my whatever moment with this movie.
Walking in, you're
Like
whatever.
within the first 10 minutes, and I was like, all right, whatever. And it's not to say that I hated the film. I didn't mind it because you have to drill it into your head that this is what this movie is going to be, and don't expect it to be an Oscar winner, which it definitely is not by any measure. Like Kai, I love seeing big monsters fight, but I have to say, I think the first movie did it better.
The physics of it.
The first Godzilla, as in like the motivations of it, how it was shot. You see a lot of it from the ground up because to show the scale of these things. In this movie, the humans are fighting alongside Godzilla, giving him backup as his wingman, and he's got jets on his flanks, left and right, going up against Ghidorah. I'm like, this is like a 5-year-old's playtime dream.
I enjoyed that scene. The
You
jets.
enjoyed-
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, we're fighting with Godzilla. Oh, yeah, let's go teamwork.
And here's the thing. We know this story starts in 2014 where Godzilla and two Mutos appear on Earth. Have they forgotten that guns have no effect on
Yeah.
these creatures?
Yeah.
Or even missiles or tomahawk missiles?
Yeah.
What is happening here? They just totally disregarded it. And then there's one scene where the Admiral from the first film, he goes like, we've been developing a new weapon and it's called an oxygen killer or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And they end up like nearly killing Godzilla because they thought that Ghidorah was from Earth and one of the Titans, but evidently he's not. But they came to that conclusion so quickly. Because he's not from this Earth. You're like, really?
So he doesn't use oxygen?
Apparently not.
He doesn't.
And
he doesn't.
then how does he? Okay, I'm not gonna do this.
Okay, Zach, I got an answer for you. You know our air is 79% nitrogen.
No, 69.
Okay, yeah.
69.
All right. So
Is it 69?
69% and then 21% oxygen, and then the rest are all like small,
gases and
noble
whatnot.
gases.
Yeah, so you know, even we don't breathe that. We breathe more nitrogen than we breathe oxygen. So it makes sense.
So he just takes out the
He just takes the nitrogen bit of it.
Okay, they don't go into detail. Like they just kill all the oxygen molecules in the area.
Yeah, I mean,
So it doesn't have. So
Yeah.
it's just like holding your breath for a while. No oxygen. It's like
see,
Zainal's holding his breath.
see, but that's you. That's you doing it for a while. Imagine Godzilla, this huge being, not breathing.
Yeah.
The scale of it. We're gonna go into biology again.
All right, no, we're not. Okay, fine. I think we talked enough about this movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's still showing here in local cinemas. Let's give our ratings for this movie. Let's start off with Zainal. with Zainal.
Zainal gives it a H2O out of 10.
I'll give it a 6 roars.
6 roars out of
6
10.
roars.
Tibi.
6.5 twins.
Twins.
Ooh.
Ooh, so
Ah.
close.
we
Not
didn't address.
Yeah, we didn't talk about
Maybe
the
the twins, yeah.
the
Mothra
Mothra
twins.
twins, who are these supposed little beings who worship Mothra in the original Japanese
And they're
movies.
precursors to his arrival.
Yep.
Her arrival.
Her arrival. This is one of them. Well, both of them are played by Zhang Ziyi.
Bad script.
Bad
Yeah,
script.
they didn't show. They,
They didn't.
I didn't even realize it until
if
just
you
now.
knew the lore, then you'd be like, oh, they're twins, yes. But if you didn't, you can then like,
Yeah, because
no one's gonna address.
I had to mention it, and then Kai went, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I just realized
It was not very obvious.
Yeah.
Kai, your rating for Godzilla?
I would give it 8 kaijus out of 10.
8.
Wow, I thought I'm being judged. I enjoy these movies, guys. I don't.
Yeah, monster fighting.
I wanted to give it a 7.5.
But you thought that was generous.
Yeah.
I was gonna give this an 8.5, by the way.
When he said 8, I
Yeah.
instantly- I
Kevin,
got a headache.
Kevin had a visceral reaction.
Wow.
No, I like these kind of films. I
do
also
I.
liked Pacific Rim 2.
All right.
So did I.
All right, to each your own. I'm gonna give this movie the lowest score out of this panel today. I'm giving it a 5.5.
Oh, that's so sad. Bump it up, Kev. Come on.
No, come on.
I'll do you a better deal. Come on.
I'm not gonna bump it up. I'll give the first Godzilla movie from 2014 like a 8 out of 10.
Wow.
This is like
So
a 5.5
bad.
because of the editing.
Should we recap our MonsterVerse scores?
We can check, but I don't think we watched.
I gave Mighty Morphin Power Rangers a 10.
Yeah. That first Godzilla, for me, that first one with Gareth Edwards, is a 10.
That's a 10 for you.
That first Godzilla is a 10. Kong is an 8. It's tied with this one for me.
Okay.
I don't remember the first movie actually.
Okay.
Oh, it's a masterpiece.
Was it the same characters like people?
No.
No.
No,
None of
it's
them,
different
right?
guy. No, but Godzilla was the same actor, so.
Same. They didn't.
Did you read the credits?
Yeah,
because there was-
Godzilla as himself.
himself.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rodan as himself.
Yeah, I thought that was
funny.
funny.
Yeah, because there was one point where they were like, yeah, your wife developed Orca by doing this, and then she's like, I know how it works, and I'm like, as a guy, like I don't. How come you didn't let him explain it a little bit more? Or maybe that was in the previous movie.
No, we
No,
didn't
no,
get
no,
Orca.
nothing.
No?
No, I don't think so.
One of the funniest parts for me about Godzilla King of the Monsters is that during the exposition scenes where there's a lot of like talking between the human characters, one of them who is Vera, what was her name again?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Vera Farmiga.
No, her character name.
It's a human being. I don't.
I can't remember. She's like the ex-wife of.
Yeah,
okay,
gotcha.
she's the mother of. Oh, we didn't even address this.
Oh, Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown is in this
Welcome to
movie.
cinema.
Welcome
Yes.
to cinema. So she's the one who actually planned this whole thing to release the Titans one by one to restore balance and give the Earth back to the Titans. When she's explaining this to her ex-husband and all of Monarch,
There's snippets.
she set up like videos.
Yeah,
to
there's
show-
snippets. Yeah.
to drive the point home that Earth and humans don't.
Yeah.
They don't go together.
She had a presentation.
Yeah.
She had it. I don't know. Was it
She's trying to
PowerPoint?
persuade-
She's
No, no, hey, she does her job well. She was paid well.
Sure. Okay. So-
At one point she thought I should do a presentation
So
on
they
how-
understand me
Yeah,
better.
Yeah.
If I just say it with words, they probably won't.
Yeah, effective
no,
communication.
if I say with words, they'll think I'm crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here,
But if
look
I
at this.
say it and I show what I'm
Yeah.
saying, then I'll make sense.
I believe that. I think
Also, the daughter is like, oh, when you say you're gonna release it one by one, I'm on board.
yeah, I was like, what do you think was gonna happen? 11.
It's so I don't know.
Okay.
The human aspect
Yeah,
of this
it's
movie
terrible.
was just really.
Anyways.
All right, so that's our review of Godzilla King of the Monsters. Despite what we've said, we do still recommend that you watch this in local cinemas because this is a movie, as I said, that is big and deserves to be watched on a big screen. That leads us to our next bit of the show, which is...
Oi, apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? Hoi, 看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? 那看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? See what see? 笑了。
Yep, that's right. It's Apa Liat Liat, and it's what else we have been watching besides Godzilla King of the Monsters. Let's start off this week with Tibi.
Let me just say that I haven't been watching a lot.
Okay.
But I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World
Okay.
Oh.
with a few friends. It's fun.
There's a new expansion or something, right?
Coming out. It hasn't come out. But like to also use this opportunity to say that there is a Korean series that's coming that's out
JB.
on Netflix,
Shameless plug.
which I was also
Yeah.
involved in one way or
TB
another.
is a professional actor now.
Yeah.
Do you have an IMDb yet?
No,
Do you have a credit?
No.
I don't get it. No credits?
no. Wait. I'll probably be just a warrior to be.
Oh, you spoiled the role now.
Ah.
Slash villager. And then all other
you're a
people.
warrior?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's called Arthdal Chronicles or something.
Archdal Chronicles, yeah.
Yeah.
I will maybe check it. It's on Netflix, is right?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's just
The
one
pilot,
episode.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
One
first-
episode.
Yeah.
So they're releasing one every week,
Yes.
probably. All right. Kai, apa lihat?
I've missed the last few podcasts.
Yeah, you have.
I've watched everything that's come out except Aladdin.
Okay.
So
Just do it, man. Just do it.
nah,
It's okay. It's alright.
nah.
That's how you heal.
I'll,
What's this narrative that I'm still heard about it? I don't care. Like,
I'll,
it's just not something. And I was wondering if we would bring it up just now. There was a new batch of posters for The Lion King.
Yep. Very bland.
You
They
know,
just-
you're shaking your head.
They
Yeah.
just look like normal lions.
Like this is what I see on a National Geographic.
yeah,
channel, like,
so that's
what-
why I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm planning not to watch Aladdin because I don't think the live actions are doing well.
So I'm like,
None of them.
What have I been? Okay, so I've watched John Wick. Yeah, John Wick 3. Didn't really enjoy it as much. I love the fight scenes. Story wasn't great. I watched A Dog's Purpose, A Dog's Journey. Yeah, it's out in the cinemas. It's
Okay.
about a
he's
dog.
literally watching everything else.
Yeah, except
Yeah,
Aladdin.
Except for Aladdin.
I've watched Secret Life of Pets. I've seen two. Not bad. I've seen.
I don't know, man. It's like you're avoiding
trying
an
to
ex.
prove.
Yeah.
You're avoiding an ex and you're
I'm
dating
really not.
everyone else.
No, because
All her
Ramadan is a
friends.
slow month. It really is a slow month for work. I've seen The Hustle. I don't know what else I've seen.
I'm with Zainal with this.
Yeah.
Wow!
I'm
Thanks
Yeah.
for the vote of
I'm
support,
not
guys.
hurt at all, but I'm
Ah.
watching everything.
But at home, I've been doing because since Raya's coming up, I don't really do a lot of visiting. So I've been watching some of the old stuff I have. So I've just finished Stranger Things on Blu-ray. It looks amazing. Season 1.
I gotta get into this.
Yeah, I'm about to watch season 2 starting today.
Yeah.
So it's just been killing time.
I love
Okay.
Stranger
I
Things.
could not get past the first episode.
Of what?
No,
Why?
no,
What the
it's-
science doesn't
The
work.
Stranger Things. Stranger
It
Things.
gets better.
it gets
hope
much.
so.
No. The first episode was amazing. What are you talking about?
Maybe it was the timing. Like I've tried 3-4 times to restart.
No.
watching.
This is you and me. This is me and Mad Men. You know the John Hamm TV show?
Yeah.
I've watched the pilot 8 times. Only in the 8th time did I finally go to episode 2.
I wanna like it, but
It's
so
great.
far I
dude.
can't.
It
get
is
into
amazing.
Well, if you're gonna get on Stranger Things, you do it really soon because
season 3 is out.
season 3 is coming out in July.
Yeah,
so
it's fantastic.
it's fantastic. All right,
get into
which
it,
leads us to Zainal. Like, apa lihat, what have you been checking out?
I'm binging on Lucifer.
Okay.
Apparently, it's the most bingeable movie series on Netflix.
I've never seen it.
Apparently so.
I've
Apparently,
seen
yeah.
3 episodes.
Because I saw the season 4 coming out, and I'm like, oh, they're still making these? Are they good? So I watched the first season, and I gotta admit, I don't like it at all. But I'm hooked. I don't know how I could finish a whole season of Lucifer and say, meh, but I'll watch the second one.
Wow, Zainal's kind of right. I've watched everything except Aladdin.
Yeah, so,
I've
I don't
seen
know, man.
Brightburn. I've seen The Hustle, Pikachu, John Wick, Dog's Journey.
You said you wouldn't watch Pikachu, and you watched Pikachu.
I watched Pikachu. I enjoyed it. It was
You
good.
might enjoy Aladdin.
This was the guy
Yeah, who didn't-
who for months and months said, you know what, they're trolling us.
Yeah, dude. I walked in the cinema. I was like, they're gonna play the cartoon net. And they played the movie, and it was funny. My favorite part is when Pikachu sang the theme song.
All right, finally me. I
Yeah.
checked out what did I check out? I checked out a Korean series.
Oh,
Is it a zombie
Winter
one?
Sonata.
No, it's on
Oh, dude, you need to update. You need to update your
That's
reference,
the only
man.
one I know.
You have so much catching up to do.
but It's not a new one. It's an old one. It's called Oh My Ghost.
Oh, right.
okay.
Definitely don't know that.
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but it kept me watching till the end. And I also checked out on Netflix a movie that came out starring Ali Wong
Oh, Randall Park and
and
Ali
Randall
Wong.
Park.
Always
Always
Be
Be My
My
Maybe.
Baby.
It was a totally, passable
Passable?
rom-com movie. I mean, it's not great. You call it out. Like,
How did Ali
this-
Wong do?
She did okay, actually. She's a typical sort of Asian, I guess, lead.
Well, she has no acting credits. She does,
Ali
right?
Wong, I think she's made cameos or something.
Yeah, this is the first starring role though, alongside Randall Park. They play two people who were kind of gonna get together because they were hanging out a lot when they were kids, and they lived next to each other, and then they end up being together for a little while, and then he flips out, and she goes off and has a successful career. He stays in San Francisco, and then it's a coming of age story and finding that your one true love is someone you've already found, kind of thing.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves makes a cameo in this movie.
Is he Keanu Reeves?
He plays himself,
Oh, no way.
but a super douchey version of himself.
I like that.
It's so good.
I like that.
Because we've all heard all the heartwarming stories of Keanu Reeves and things he does.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy who is worth I don't know how much, and he insists on taking the subway, giving up his seat. We've seen all his normal dude things that he does,
yeah.
and in this movie, he's like the douchiest Hollywood actor out there, and you're
Nice.
like, wow, that is awesome.
I'll check this out.
Okay, so that's Upper Liat and what we've
You'll
been
check
watching.
that out, but you won't check Aladdin out.
I don't even have Netflix, so that tells you the how far I'll be willing to go to watch this movie.
That's going to be it this week for the Wayang Crew podcast. It is our 100th episode. Next week will be 101.
Oh, it's so good.
101st episodes. Here's to 100 more. It's good to have Zainal back and everyone who has been a part of the Wayang Crew. For
job,
me,
Kev.
Kevin,
Good
I just
job.
want to say thank you so much for being on the shows. We've made it to 100, so here's to 200. All right, so next week we will be talking about. So what's next week, guys?
Dark Phoenix, I think.
Dark Phoenix.
Hari
with-
Raya.
yeah, which is a very meh
Are we doing
movie.
it next week?
Sorry,
I might not be here next week.
That's fine. The show will carry on.
Yeah.
This is how we get to 200, guys. All right, I'd like to thank my co-hosts Zainal, TV, and Kai for joining me on this 100th episode of the Wayang Crew podcast.
Thanks, Kev.
And thank you guys so much for listening. You are why we do this. And here's to 100 more. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.